Progress, not perfection. That is what I've been talking about on my Instagram today, and I really wanted to drive it home in a Shane Talks podcast. So basically what I've been looking at here is that there's so many things in our life that we think we need to be perfect at homeschooling, perfect at keeping the house tidy, perfect at our jobs in these crazy times, perfect in our exercise, perfect in our nutrition, perfect in our health and lifestyle. There are so many areas that we could really draw and be able to create an excuse of perfection. Well, I can't do it the perfect way, so therefore I won't get anything done. I won't even try because I want it to be perfect. That's the excuse. Well, why haven't you done a workout today? Well, it's not perfect conditioning. It's not perfect conditions. It's a little bit uncomfortable. It's not perfect. My output might not be perfect. So I needed to get this point across that let's just stop. Let's just stop looking for perfection and let's start just looking at progress. If today you can move forward, make some progress over perfection, then you've done all you need to do. It's amazing that we keep forgetting that in this pursuit for perfection, we forget that good and well done is something that is going to help ourselves and many people around us. If I waited to be the most perfect podcaster or the most perfect blogger or the most perfect personal trainer or the most perfect husband that I could be, I would never do anything. I would never start. I think it's a procrastinator's beauty, right? If you're a good procrastinator, you will look for perfection as an excuse as to why you haven't done something, as a reason as to, okay, I don't start things that aren't perfect. I don't do things that aren't perfect, right? And in that is procrastination. You are just procrastinating the inevitable. Let's not forget that your idea of perfection is just subjective. You decide what you think is perfection. I look at my little girl's drawings and I think they're absolutely perfect. Other people look at it and pull it apart because she's 4. That it's not perfect, Shane. It's, she's out of the lines. Well, yeah, for me, that's perfect, right? So a perfect thing is sometimes so subjective. We get to decide what perfect is. And if we are so wrapped up in our own minds about what perfect is, then we can never make progress. We can never push forward because we're never laying the tiles on the floor. We're never able to lay the tiles down and be able to walk the path. What I want you to think about is where can you be less perfect and make a little bit of progress instead of looking for perfection. Then in a couple of months' time, how about we look back at that progress and see where we can pick it up and make it better, where we could perfect it in other areas, right? Because now we've actually made progress. Now we have the luxury of not being lost in procrastination and self-judgment. Now, once we've made that journey, once we've made those changes, once we've pushed forward, we can then look back and say, let's clean the edges up a little bit here and here because now we can. Rather than doing nothing, rather than letting it be a reason of procrastination, rather than not even moving forward in a direction that you should be going in, rather than letting the world wait for your whatever you're trying to give them or whatever they need from you. Because it's a little bit selfish as well. Like if I think, okay, these podcasts, they're not perfect. They're not produced perfectly. The lighting's not perfect. I'm having a lot of trouble today with lighting. I'm having a lot of trouble with my camera. I'm having a lot of trouble creating some content. So if I was waiting for perfection today, this wouldn't even come out. This message wouldn't be in the world. But it's progress. And just because it's not perfect in certain areas does not mean it's not good. And good does not mean it can't help you or you can't be the best version of yourself if you're not doing good things or helping other people be good. You know what I mean? And that's what I wanted to get across today is that we really wrap ourselves up in perfection. And really all we got to be looking for is progress. Now, I said this to a friend of mine today. Don't worry about being the perfect homeschool mum. Don't worry about being the perfect wife. Don't worry about being the perfect health and fitness bunny that we're trying to be, right? Don't worry about those things because in the midst of worrying about the perfection, you're doing things like you're not doing things. That's the problem, right? We're doing maybe only one thing. And then we're worrying about perfection. The other things, we're just going, well, it's all too hard, we won't do it. Now, the other thing I wanted to say was that sometimes you've got to worry about one component of good. And what I mean by that is this, right? If it means you can just create a good hour as opposed to a perfect hour of homeschooling, a good hour. Because I remember when I went to school for 6 hours and I probably stared out the window for almost all those hours. So worrying about having this perfect homeschool environment and letting your kids study and be this amazing, you're this amazing teacher who taught them, the most craziest of stuff while they were away from school. Let's just worry about progress. Did they show up? Did they open their books? Did they actually read a paragraph? Did they understand a sentence? Did they create some change and progress in their day? Rather than blasting them for not being perfect either. So I need to kind of abolish this idea of perfection. It's okay to be a perfectionist as long as you are making progress. If you are paralyzed by perfection, you are procrastinating. And I don't know how many more P words I can come up with in a podcast. There's one there. So I really want you to think about this today and tag me, communicate. I want to join in on your journey. I want to be a part of it. I'm doing this stuff so that we create a community, a unity of people that are less hard on themselves and make great progress. So if you are making progress today, tag me. Tag me at Shane Trains, because that's the one that I do on Instagram. And tell me, Shane, it wasn't perfect, but here's some progress. That's all I've got time for today on Shane Talks. There will be another podcast this week. This is just a quick one that I wanted to throw in there for you at the start of the week, just to hopefully get that Monday motivation up high, because motivation is a liar, so it needs to be refilled every single day. So hopefully this is your refilling of motivation. But remember, what matters most is discipline. Discipline every day is going to get you to your results and your dreams and your goals. So what areas can you be disciplined in making progress over perfection? Until next time, guys, I will see you when I see you.